My name is Wendy Guardado.
My name is Jospeh Sondag.
My name is Jennifer Gentry.
My name is Clyde Bagget.
My name is Menchaca.
My name is Lara Malaver.
I am a psychology major.
I'm majoring in international affairs and minoring in astronomy.
I'm studying psychology and Spanish and literature.
And my field of study is architecture.
My major is chemistry.
I'm studying math.
I'm gonna be a sophomore this coming fall.
I'm a junior.
And I'm a junior.
I am a senior.
I'm a senior.
And right now I'm a senior.
My first research assignment came up on accident. It was for an Applied Calculus 3 class I was taking, and we had a lab where there was a huge physical background involved that you needed a lot of physics to know, and I hadn't taken the calculus-based physics yet, and I was pretty much completely in the dark. And furthermore, I had procrastinated on this project until the very last minute. So I started a few days before and found out that I had no idea what was going on, and I needed to find somewhere that I could teach myself the physics necessary to actually complete the assignment.
My first college research assignment was for an international affairs class, an introductory class, and it was a 10-page research paper about an international conflict.
Basically, we had to identify an unknown chemical product, and we're free to use any of the articles or research materials we had at the library here.
And it was on the field of architecture and why I exactly wanted to study. And it included basically getting to know what the profession entailed, what the requirements were, and then picking my favorite architect and why.
A paper on antisocial personality disorder for my psychology recitation class.
To do a research paper on the American Dream. That was my writing class in first semester. So I had to come to the library. But that was it. That was the first thing. And it was big. It was like a 10-page paper. So I was kind of scared about that, but yeah.
When I got my first research assignment, I was scared.
I'm gonna fail. I freaked out.
I was really scared since I had never written a 10-page paper before, and we had to include a lengthy bibliography, an outline, so it was definitely a lot to take in.
I was a little bit shocked, actually. Reason being is because there's a lot of materials we needed to gather for this research project, and it was a little daunting, actually. So
I was kind of excited because I had done this before, but given that I didn't have so many resources before my previous high school, I got a chance to delve in a little bit more.
I was kind of surprised and overwhelmed because it was really long compared to anything that I've done before. So I kind of freaked out and told my friends. I said, what should I do? But I was kind of overwhelmed.
The part of the research paper that intimidated me the most was the amount of sources we had to accumulate.
I was kind of on my own. You know, I had never really been used to having to just independently learn stuff on your own and go out and figure stuff out for yourself. It was always like, there's very strict, kind of a structure in the class, and you would just follow that and everything would be okay.
You have all these books and all these articles and all these photographs and just a library that's dedicated to nothing but photography. And it's like, okay, I have to look through all of those?
I think it was upwards to 20 sources, and they all had to be scholarly. And there was also a certain amount that had to be books, a certain amount that had to be online sources. So there was definitely a strict guideline that we had to follow.
I was just afraid that I wouldn't be able to find anything about it or be able to write enough about it.
I remember the professor said you need to have at least 15 different cited, works cited and biographies and so on, and that was kind of overwhelming too, so that was what it was.
there's a lot of resources out there, and it's kind of hard to kind of cut what you really need compared to things you might not need in a report.
So the most challenging part of the research was using all those sources accurately and using them in a way that my paper made sense.
Figuring out where to start, which direction to go, which resources to look for, who to talk to, just getting going on it was the hardest part.
Kind of finding the right source, because you can read so many books and so many websites, but you need to know which one is more educational and which one is actually relevant to what you're doing.
Picking a topic, finding if it's something that was widely researched before so that I can find information about it.
The most challenging part of research I find Really, it's just the material gathering.
Since we had so many and we had to use every single one of them in our paper, it was very difficult to sort of gather my ideas.
The difference between college level research and high school level research is not only the amount of time you're given to actually produce the research, to go through it, to kind of figure out what's going on, but it's also a much more concrete research level. Not only are you doing this research topic and then producing a work out of it, but you have to be extremely careful with not plagiarizing yourself, with citing correctly, and adhering to the honor code as best as you can.
In high school, they kind of give you what you need to use for research. And in college, they kind of say, here's your topic, or pick a topic and find out more about this.
Just being told to go out and do it and get it done was completely new to me.
So the difference between college research and high school research is the fact that you aren't just writing from what comes through your mind and then later looking up the sources. It's really a detailed project that you have to start the beginning of the semester and not the day before.
Just the amount of work that you actually have to put into it, time. It takes time to really go to the library and sit down and research and read this and read that and make a 10-page paper look good, as opposed to high school, who you can just go to your teacher anytime and they will correct everything for you. So it was easier, but I think here is more on your own, so it's more challenging in that sense.
In high school, it kind of seemed like they guided you by your hand, so they gave you like an outline and how to follow everything and how to put everything in order. In college, it's kind of more of a freelance kind of deal. You can do what you want with it, as long as you actually follow like a vague outline, if you want to say it that way.
They were like, use this article, use this book, pick it out of here, here's your topic. It was really, they didn't really give you much room to explore.
However, it can be fun actually doing it though. It's pretty challenging.